Good evening. We begin here at 5 o'clock honoring and remembering Officer Brian Elliott, the Beech Grove police officer shot and killed last night in the line of duty. In the last hour, the Central Indiana Police Foundation shared a photo of Officer Elliott and his wife Erin, and tonight so many tributes are coming in.
Elliott was one of two officers shot while trying to get to a woman screaming for help inside a Beech Grove apartment. The other officer survived and was released from the hospital this afternoon. And we begin with the latest on the investigation into what happened. Our Ashton Hackman talked with the neighbors, including one man who made the initial call to 911.
And that man tells me he heard screaming coming from his neighbor in that upstairs apartment. So he called 911 and officers arrived within minutes. And that's when he heard the gunshots.
That call sent officers to Beech Meadow Apartments. Officer Brian Elliott and another officer were first on scene. They knocked and announced police. According to a new police report, Elliott heard a woman yelling inside, then kicked in the door.
When they knocked the door, I just heard the fires.
The gunshots?
Yes.
As the door came open, police say shots were fired from inside. Elliott and the other officer were hit. Both were rushed to the hospital. Elliott did not survive. Police say 47-year-old Kenneth Johnson fired those shots, then ran. Another neighbor watched him try to get away.
He got down and was hanging from the third story and then dropped.
What followed was an hours-long manhunt. This was the view out one neighbor's window. Canines on the ground, a helicopter overhead. Police say a neighbor later spotted Johnson hiding in a laundry room and flagged an officer. IMPD SWAT moved in and took him into custody without a struggle. Court records show police found a handgun in a trash can in that laundry room. Johnson was taken to the state police post and questioned, but allegedly asked for an attorney. He remains in jail pending formal charges. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
The prosecutor tells us charges against Kenneth Johnson could come later this week, and so WTHR has decided not to show Johnson's mugshot until he's charged. Until then, we've chosen to focus on the life and legacy of Officer Elliott, and so let's do that. Tonight, the memorial outside the Beech Grove Police Department continues to grow.
Flowers and ribbons now drape over Officer Elliott's squad car. Samantha Johnson is live there tonight, and Sam, you actually spent the day there. What have you been seeing?
Well, Felicia and Dustin, I can now tell you it is very quiet here in Beech Grove. As we see here behind us, Main Street, just outside of the police department, is now lined with these police department cars. Take a look here behind us, and we understand the reason why this memorial is now blocked by all these squad cars is because we are expecting any minute now the family of Officer Brian Elliott to come see this memorial for themselves. Now, on just the other side of this police department, behind those garages there is a new space that allows these fellow officers to grieve together, to come together and rest, all set up by the Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police. Take a look.
Just hours after tragedy in Beech Grove, the NDFOP setting up a blue oasis.
You know, they call it the thin blue line, but you know, we're a big family.
This is the Active Response Kit, or ARC. Inside the big blue tent, plenty of room for grieving officers and their families to be still, eat, warm up, and rest.
When they experience a tragedy as losing one of their fellow officers, we want to make sure that we take something off their plate that they don't have to worry about. They don't have to worry about feeding or getting something to drink. They can focus on their mourning period they need and focus on honoring Officer Elliott.
This is only the second time the ARC has been deployed. The first last November, after the death of Delaware County Sheriff's Corporal Blake Reynolds.
We didn't know what to expect the first time that we deployed the ARC, but what we quickly learned is that it was a blessing to those officers in that community. And we set it up here at the PD to give the officers somewhere to decompress.
So for the next few days, fellow law enforcement will wrap their arms around Beech Grove, serving up warm food and offering a space for fellowship.
It's a blessing to be able to respond, to be able to assist our fellow officers. For us at Indy Lodge 86, Beech Grove is a member of our lodge, so these are our members.
Members in mourning after the death of Officer Brian Elliott.
Now, that ARC, by the way, is designed to be used as disaster relief. It can be self-sufficient for at least 2 days. It's stocked with an onboard generator, beds, a kitchen, freezer, everything they would need for several days here. We know for the city of Beech Grove, what has happened here is a disaster. So Felicia and Dustin, our Ella Rhodes has also spent the day here in Beech Grove. She's been talking to community members about everything that has happened in the last 24 hours. You will hear from her coming up tonight on 13 News at 6.
Okay, well, thank you, Sam, for giving us the community story.
Yeah. Community certainly coming together. Just hours ago, we spoke with the Beech Grove police chief about how he and his officers on that small department are doing after losing one of their own.
Every officer knows that when they put it on, the uniform on it, this could be their last one, the last day, and they do it anyway. And that's what keeps us going, and we're going to keep going, because if not, that would be disrespectful to Officer Elliott and his family and the sacrifice that they made.
The Central Indiana Police Foundation is hosting the official family-approved fund to support Officer Elliott's loved ones. We've got a link to that. It's on our website at WTHR.com.
And the senseless case of a car full of teens shooting up the wrong house and killing an innocent man finally concluded today with the sentencing of the man convicted of murder. Rich Nye takes us inside the courtroom to hear from the victim's family and the killer.
Joaquin Harmon Segura was 19 in March 2024. He was the oldest in a group that fired at least 30 shots into this house on Gable Drive on the Far East Side in a drive-by in the middle of the night. Their target was someone who didn't live there anymore, instead firing on a completely innocent family who recently moved in. One of the bullets hit 25-year-old Adam Hart in the head. Hart survived only long enough to become an organ donor.
The loss of a child is got to be one of the hardest things you ever have to do. But the loss of a child in such a cowardly manner, there's no word for it.
This was the third and final sentencing for the people convicted in Adam Hart's death, and the third time that Hart's mother brought his voice into the courtroom.
Hello, this is Adam. I am with Blank Crest Mobile Notary. I am unable to get to the phone right now.
Rebecca Roush played the answering message from Adam's business phone.
As a parent, I can't describe really the pain that I feel every day. I was there when it happened. It's a memory that will not leave me.
Harmon Segura apologized to Rebecca, but also blamed his harsh upbringing.
Nobody else knows what really happened besides me inside that car and the intentions I had. I really wasn't trying to hurt nobody. That's why I didn't shoot as many times as my co-defendant, but it just so happened to be my bullet.
Previously, Savannah Allen received a 4-year prison sentence for assisting a criminal as the driver that night. Tyler Gibson also fired shots and got 35 years for conspiracy to commit murder. At the Marion County Community Justice Campus, Rich Nye, 13 News.
Lots of clouds today. Temperatures, though, on the mild side. We're in the 50s across central Indiana. We have 56 in Kokomo, 58 Indianapolis and Seymour, 53 degrees in Richmond. Lots of clouds, but not a lot to show you on radar. Just the beginning of a few showers out to our west in the northeastern sections of Missouri, part of a weak weather system that will arrive overnight and early tomorrow. You can see it here, bringing us a slight rain chance this evening, a better rain chance during that Wednesday morning drive. Some downpours, maybe some rumbles of thunder, and then we're going to look ahead to a stormy Thursday. Storm Prediction Center highlighting central Indiana for the risk of severe weather Thursday, already a weather impact alert day. I'll explain in the full forecast.
And the Boilermakers are getting ready for a massive Big Ten matchup tonight.
Mackey Arena is always loud, always packed, but especially going to be rocking tonight when Purdue takes on Michigan, the #1 team in the nation right now. Eli Gain is there live. Eli, I think it's safe to say a lot of eyes are going to be on this game tonight. No pressure for the Boilers, huh?
Yeah, definitely not. You're definitely going to be watching this game if you have a Peacock subscription, because that's what the game is going to be streaming on this evening, 6:30, between the 7th-ranked team in the nation and the #1 team in the nation. Your preseason #1 against your current #1. This is going to be a lot of fun here tonight. When you look at Purdue, of course, they are a team that are used to playing in this building as the #1 team in the nation. Not so much welcoming in a top-ranked team in the nation. The last time they hosted a #1 team was Illinois back in 2005. So we're about 21 years removed from that. The last time the Boilermakers actually beat a #1 opponent in Mackey Arena, you have to go all the way back to 1979 when the Boilermakers took down Magic Johnson in the Michigan State Spartans. But you look at this matchup, so good. You have loaded guys that are in the front court, a lot of size and a lot of dynamic playmakers in the back court on both sides. When you look at the Wolverines, listen to how good they are. Their sole loss this season, which came against the Badgers hit 15 three-pointers in that game, still only won by 3 points. So Michigan, as good as they are, Purdue has reeled off 3 straight wins. We are ready for an ecstatic and exciting environment here in Mackey Arena tonight. And yesterday, Matt Painter talking about this Michigan team and the issues that they provide on the floor.
And that's what great teams have, right? They have more than 5 starters. So it's they have speed, they have athleticism, they have the ability to break you down off the dribble from a lot of different people. Their skill level, great rebounding team, best defensive team in the country, and just a lot of different ways to get you from an offensive standpoint.
And you can see the paint crew fired up for this game. Tip-off scheduled for 6:30. #7 Purdue, #1 Michigan. I'll have a recap for you coming up tonight on Channel 13 at 11, guys.
They're pumped already.
I know, how awesome. Wouldn't it be so fun to be there right now?
Man.
With a brewski.
Yes. All right, Eli, thank you. We'll check back.
We'll be right back.